Hello. Today we're going to do like a quick summary about the chapter, and my name's Jordan, and I just want to do a quick summary about this. So, first the chapter highlights just like how common these ads are Americans see every day, and especially on TV. Direct-to-consumer advertising exploded in the late 90s, and that cost pharmaceutical companies billions each year just to particularly focus on the drug's benefits while only briefly mentioning risk and side effects. You may notice that particularly when we're doing a drug about depression, but at the very end they'll always be quickly word off the side effects. That's something most of us make jokes about, but understand that's something that happens a lot. But also, showing positive images by the negative side effects, which has always been makes the drug feel more appealing and normal. This chapter mostly stresses, arguments for both for and against the DTC ads. Supporters say these ads can raise awareness about untreated conditions, the stigma around issues like mental illness, and help patients start important conversations. On the other hand, critics and people around argue that ads are often misleading. Overall, oversell the benefits that they can help before you, and encourage people to take drugs that they don't need and push up healthcare costs. Particularly, one example would be like the opioid epidemic that's happened in the past nearly 15 or closely 20 years now. Nearly 20 years, since around the late 2000s. Just one example. A lot of these ads, seem to motivate many low-risk people, those unlikely to benefit and seek medication, and even ignore healthy lifestyle changes, like a diet and exercise, which aren't even given attention in these commercials. Another key takeaway is the difference in how doctors and consumers view these ads. Most consumers see the ads as encourage them to learn more, visit their doctor, and discuss treatment options. But doctors are usually more skeptical. They worry about the increased costs, patients asking for unnecessary prescriptions, and more time spent correcting misunderstandings that these advertisements bring up. And you can find forum posts by doctors complaining about this, things like Reddit or Facebook. So everything's kind of stood out to me quite a bit. It was kind of weirdly how advertising have become more persuasive to people, and how widespread these ads are, and how often the information feels one-sided or overly optimistic. Like I said, when you have all these ads to talk about, like the example I used earlier about how there's depression drug, and it's weird how positive that they portray it, but also not show the negative side effects to it, and just quickly word off the side about it quickly to get it through, but you have all these positive images. It's always been weird. It always feels one-sided or overly optimistic. I agree that patients deserve information that should feel be more empowered, but it's concerning how these ads can lead to like overprescription overprescriptions of drugs in America, higher prices, and people potentially relying on medicine instead of healthier habits. Again, one of the big examples is the opioid crisis. That said, these benefits of raising awareness and reducing stigma shouldn't be ignored. I really think this chapter has kind of opened my eyes to like the clear regulations and better public health education is really important to help everyone. I believe that these advertisements create more problems than benefits in its current form, and it's going to take a major reform, stricter rules, and help consumers when it comes to understanding the health problems and side effects that these can have. Then, rather than what they use for persuasive sales tactics that they want to use to try to just sell a quick buck. And it's a critical example of that. We are screwed right now when it comes to the healthcare system with American, and major reform is needed. Thank you for your time.